You wake up on a Monday and feel something most people never admit out loud. Not broke, not struggling, just trapped, on a treadmill that looks exactly like a career. Every month, that salary hits your account like a promise. The promise never quite delivers. It arrives, you spend it, and every single month you start again from zero. You tell yourself, next month I will save. Next month arrives, nothing changes. You blame your spending. Not disciplined enough. Need to cut the coffee. Cancel the subscriptions. You try. It helps a little, but it fixes nothing because the problem runs deeper than that. Start with the number you think you know. Your salary. $60,000 a year. $60,000 compared to what? Last year's prices? Those prices do not exist anymore. Inflation runs 3 to 7% every year. Your salary buys you less and less each time. Over 10 years at 5%, your $60,000 now buys what $37,000 used to. You didn't get a pay cut. The world got more expensive and your income never kept pace. Your employer gave you a raise. 3% here, 4% there. You felt grateful. But 3% against 5% inflation is a negative raise every year without exception. Every year you celebrate. Every year you get poorer, just slightly more slowly than before. This is the first layer of the trap. A raise that feels like progress, but moves you backwards. But there is a second layer, one that costs you even more. It costs you your time. You sell 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That is 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours is not a number. It is your life converted into a fixed price tag. And unlike any product, you cannot manufacture more of it. Every hour you sell is gone forever. Your company bought your time cheaply, then billed clients 3 to 7 times more for it. This is not a conspiracy. This is just business, but you are on the wrong side of it. Now let's run the real math. Starting with the one cost nobody counts, your commute. The average worker spends 45 minutes each way. 90 minutes gone before work even starts. 90 minutes a day. 250 days a year. That is 375 hours vanished. You are working nearly 10 extra weeks every single year, unpaid, unrecognized, just gone. You think you earn $30 an hour. That number is based on a lie you were never told. Add your commute hours. Now you work 2,375 hours, not 2,060,000 divided by 23.75. Your real hourly rate just dropped to $25, but you are not done. There is more time your job takes that never appears on any timesheet. Sunday anxiety, decompression time after work, mentally still at the office when you are physically not. When you count every hour your job actually touches, your real rate falls somewhere between $18 and $22. Now here is what almost no one calculates. Your job costs you money just to show up every single day. Gas, train fare, parking, car maintenance. The average commuter spends $3,000 to $4,000 a year. Work clothes, an entire wardrobe that exists only because someone else's dress code demands it. Shoes, dry cleaning, suits, upkeep, up to $1,500 a year to dress for them. Lunch. You could eat at home every single day, but work pulls you out and the costs follow. $6 a day, 250 days. That is $1,500 a year on office lunches. And for many workers, childcare exists specifically because the job pulls both parents out of the home. Childcare costs in most cities have risen faster than wages. It is the most brutal hidden cost. Add it all together, your job costs you $8,000 to $15,000 a year just to walk through the door. Subtract that from your $60,000. You are actually keeping closer to 46,000 inches real value, and that is before taxes. Before the government takes its share from every single dollar you earn, your $60,000 does not land as $60,000. After taxes, you take home exactly $43,000. Employment is the highest taxed way to earn income that most people will ever use. Most never know. A business owner pays tax on profit, revenue minus expenses. You pay on gross, every single dollar. Money you earn at a job taxed at your highest rate. Money invested long enough, taxed far lower. The tax code was written with owners in mind, not workers. That was always the design. Nobody told you any of this at graduation. They handed you a certificate and sent you to work. So here is the full picture. After tax and hidden costs, $60,000 becomes closer to $29,000. You thought you earned $60,000. You actually lived on roughly $29,000 every year. The math was always there. You just never ran it. Tonight, you finally did, and it changes everything. Now, there is a cost. Nobody puts in a spreadsheet. Nobody tracks it, but it is costing you thousands. Stress. Chronic work stress has direct and measurable financial consequences on everything you spend. Stressed workers spend 12 to 18% more on discretionary purchases than their non-stressed peers. The takeout you order because cooking feels impossible after a 10-hour shift. That is stress spending. The weekend purchase you justified with, "I earned this after that week," that is also stress spending. That stress premium, food, convenience, reward purchases can add $3,000 to $5,000 a year. And that is before you count what chronic stress does to your body, which is also expensive. Back pain, sleep disorders, anxiety, high blood pressure. These are not just unpleasant, they are financially devastating. Medication, therapy, doctor visits, missed work, stress-related health costs run into thousands annually. Your job is quietly making you sick, and sickness costs money. The math on this is genuinely ugly. Stress spending, health costs, combined with commute and clothing, your job's hidden tax exceeds $14,000. Now let us talk about the number that actually matters. Not income, not salary, your net worth. Most salaried workers see their net worth grow slowly, if at all, across their entire working lives. They earn, they spend, they save a small remainder. That remainder sits in a savings account doing nothing. Your savings account earns 2%. Inflation runs at 5%. You are losing ground while standing perfectly still. The wealthy do not build net worth through salaries. They build it through assets. There is a fundamental difference. Assets are things that generate income while you sleep. Real estate, business equity, investments, royalties. A salary is not an asset. It is income that requires your physical presence every single day to continue. The moment you stop showing up, it stops. No residual value, no continuation, zero. You cannot sell a salary, you cannot pass it on. It has no value beyond the next pay cycle. Every year entirely focused on your salary, not building one asset, is a year of lost compounding. You gave your best hours. Your employer took those hours and converted them into equity. Not yours, theirs. Two people in the same office. One builds equity every year. The other resets to zero every month. This is not your employer's fault. It is not a conspiracy. It is just mechanics and you are inside them. This is the quiet center of the trap. Your labor built their assets. Yours stayed exactly at zero. You did not just fail to get rich. You actively helped someone else get rich with your time. Being trapped does not mean being broke. It means trading your peak hours for someone else's wealth. Your life looks functional from the outside, but functional is not the same thing as free. Income and wealth are not the same thing. Income keeps you alive. Wealth is what survives without you. The real scoreboard is not your salary. It is your net worth 10 years from right now. You are not poor in the obvious sense. You have a job, an income, a life that appears fine from the outside. But when you sit down and run every number, the story the numbers tell is completely different. Open a blank page. Write down everything you own, then everything you owe. Subtract. That is the truth. What do you own? Your car, maybe some savings, furniture, a phone. Most people stop there. Now the other side. Student loans, car loan, credit card, rent arrears. Write every number down. 13,500 owned. 30,100 owed. Net worth negative 16,000. You stare at that number. There is a specific look people get when they first see it. You have it right now. After years of showing up, earning, and spending, your actual financial position is negative. Years of it. Stop blaming yourself for being bad at saving. You are not bad at saving. The structure is the problem. Your income is taxed maximally. Your time is purchased at a discount. Your costs inflated by employment itself. No budgeting app fixes structural disadvantage. No savings challenge closes a $17,000 gap. Step 1. Calculate your real hourly rate today. Not the advertised number, the actual number. Write it down. Put it somewhere visible. Let it be uncomfortable. That discomfort is useful data. Step 2. Stop thinking about income and wealth as the same thing. They are completely different measures. Your income keeps you alive. It pays rent, buys food, and covers the bills. It is necessary, but not sufficient. Wealth is what continues when you stop. It works without you. It outlives you. It compounds over time. Your most expensive resource is not money, it is time. And every hour sold is one less hour available to build. Every hour you sell at a fixed rate is 1 hour you did not spend building something that compounds. The calculus changes completely when you frame it that way. Your time has an opportunity cost, always. This does not mean quit your job tomorrow. It means understanding what the game is actually measuring. The scoreboard is your net worth 10 years from now, not your salary review next quarter. Once you see the gap between what your job pays and what it truly costs, you cannot unsee it. That uncomfortable feeling you have right now is not a crisis. It is a calculation finally being made. Before any decision, you need to know 2 numbers. What does staying cost and what does changing cost? Staying costs you continued inflation erosion, continued stress, and continued net worth stagnation every year. 10 more years at this rate produces the same outcome as the last 10. Nothing compounds. Now the other side. Changing costs, uncertainty, transition time, short-term income reduction, and real discomfort. The costs of changing are mostly temporary. The costs of staying are permanent. That is the entire difference. The people who figured this out early didn't escape the system all at once. Nobody does that. They just stopped pretending the system worked for them and started making it work a little more in their favor. A side income, even small, even inconsistent. Something that earns without requiring your office badge. An investment account you actually fund. Even $50 a month is a different direction than zero, a skill you already have, monetized outside your job. Writing, design, teaching, consulting, analysis. Something small enough to start today, real enough to compound over time. That is all the beginning requires. They didn't fix it in 1 year, but they made it slightly less broken every single year. That is the method. The method is subtraction. Subtract your dependency on the salary 1 income stream at a time. Here is something nobody tells you. Your job changes entirely when you no longer desperately need it. When you have other income, you negotiate differently. You perform differently. You decide differently. The trap only works when you are afraid. Remove the fear, and the trap loses most of its grip on you. Tonight was not a crisis. Tonight was the night you finally ran the numbers and saw the complete picture. Your salary is eroding. Your real rate is $17. Your job costs $14,000. Net worth negative. But you are not finished. You saw it. And seeing it clearly is where every real change begins. 4 steps. Calculate the real rate. Separate income from wealth. Build 1 asset. Track net worth yearly. Not all at once. 1 year at a time. 1 asset at a time. 1 income stream at a time. That is enough. Monday will come again. The alarm will go off at 6:15. But something will be different this time. Not a crisis, a calculation, and the beginning of a completely different plan for your time and your money.